Hello, sir, and welcome to Your Masculine Tribe, the podcast where I ask the questions that help you identify, cultivate, and apply principles of masculinity. I'm your host, Todd Michael. Today we explore how knowledge is a principle of masculinity and how cultivating knowledge will increase masculinity in any man. I'm glad you're here. Why should men seek after knowledge? What does learning do for a man? Can a man be masculine and ignorant? How does obtaining knowledge increase one's masculinity? To explore this question, I invite you to consider with me two hypothetical scenarios. Scenario 1. Imagine you are suddenly stranded on an island with only the clothes you're currently wearing, the items in your pockets or within arm's reach, and your current survival skills and know-how. You'll get $50,000 for every night you spend on that island, so you have every reason to want to stay there for as long as you can make it. The island does have clean water and sources of food and fruit and wildlife, but you have to find and harvest it yourself. There is nobody else on the island. How prepared would you be to survive on that island overnight? What about for a week? What about for a month? Now let's consider a second scenario. You're going to be stranded on that same island with the same clothes and items you now have available to you, but you have 1 month to prepare mentally before you go. What would you spend that month doing? How would you prepare? What knowledge that you do not now possess would you want to gain before you go? At the end of that month of preparation, how prepared would you be to survive on that island overnight? What about for a week? What about for a month? How did your answers compare between these two scenarios? I imagine your confidence increased in your ability to survive in the second scenario. I imagine you went from being pretty sure you could last a month, winning over $1 million no less, to being absolutely sure of it. Why is that? Did the motivation change between the two scenarios? No, sir. The monetary reward was the same. Did the details of the island or what you could take with you change? Nope. The only difference, of course, was an increase in knowledge. Knowledge brings confidence. Knowledge opens up opportunities. And to quote Schoolhouse Rock, knowledge is power. Confidence, opportunity, and power. Do those sound like masculine qualities? How then should men gain knowledge? What are the best ways? Is it through formal education? Through reading? Listening? Interacting with other knowledgeable men? Taking time to reflect and record your ideas? Yes, all of the above. But it goes even deeper than just that. As the philosopher Wang Yang noted, to know and not to act is not to know. People today distinguish between knowledge and action and pursue them separately, believing that one must know before he can act. They say they will wait till they truly know before putting their knowledge into practice. Consequently, to the end of their lives, they will never act and also never know. Do you study and absorb information as often as you reasonably can? We live in a beautiful time of access to information. It has quite literally never been easier to acquire knowledge, and every man should be actively involved in studying daily. But if we fail to put that knowledge into action, what good is it to anybody? If all we do is expand our minds, our masculinity is unaffected by what we learn. To take it a step further, if we substitute meaningful action with the passive pursuit of knowledge, especially for the sake of self-aggrandizement, we even risk diminishing our own masculinity in the process. Does your arrogance betray your efficacy? No man of honor is found forever silent, inactive, and ineffectual. Simply knowing is not enough. The most powerful knowledge is that which empowers us to act, to be a force for promoting that which we value, to use what we know to guide what we do and bring our vision into reality. In the world of education, we often hear the cliche that a mind is a terrible thing to waste, but let me be clear, gentlemen. The evidence of this truth is all around us. Do you recognize it? What Jack Donovan calls the empire of nothing is filled with countless wasted minds. Minds wasted on distraction, addiction, the petty and shallow, substances that dull your senses, anxiety and self doubt that betray your confidence, and depression and suicidal ideation that risk ending your very life. These vices have laid claim on countless men and conquered too many minds. Are you willing to forfeit yours? It's time for more men to get up and take action on the knowledge they have, and to dedicate more time and energy to acquiring further knowledge. It's time to spend less time on the idle and fruitless and passive pursuits that not only fail to increase our understanding of the world, but distract us from applying what we already know. Are you ready? It's time to not only learn, but to learn how to become masculine men of principle, men who others turn to in times of crisis and rely upon in times of prosperity, men of action who know who we are and for what we stand, who unapologetically push back against the ignorance and idleness around us. Are you ready? If you recognize that the world needs more masculine men, and that increasing your knowledge is one of the most magnificently masculine things you can do, head on over to masculinetribe.com and join the tribe today. We need you, and we want to help you become the man that you know you were meant to be. Until next time, gents, be knowledgeable and be masculine.